Welcome to No Filter, guys. Peter King wrote on Monday Morning Quarterback that he thinks Darren Sharper is a leading candidate for the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2016. For those of you who don't know, Darren Sharper is a former safety who played in the league for 14 years, racked up 11 interception return touchdowns, and is currently accused of sexual assault in California, Arizona, Nevada, and Louisiana for using Ambien and morphine to drug multiple women and then rape them. Gotta say, it's unclear why Peter King has chosen this particular battle, but he's all in. He is defending his position with the kind of fiery passion I imagine he normally reserves for his Friday night dates with Roger Goodell. King's reasoning isn't something we've never heard before, though. He says, quote, "To clarify the way the Pro Football Hall of Fame works, we have a bylaw that says we can consider only football-related factors in determining a candidate's worthiness for election." Ah, yes. The bylaws, those rules etched into large stone tablets thousands of years ago that thusly cannot be changed or altered or, oh, look at that, when you Google the word bylaw, the very first result uses it in the sentence, "The board will be revising its bylaws." Okay, so the bylaws can be changed. So it's not really the fact that it's stated in the bylaws that makes it relevant, but the fact that you, Mr. King, agree with said philosophy. Just to be clear, you think that when voting people into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you should separate who they are off the field from who they are on the field. So let's not blame the bylaw. Let's blame the fact that that's a thing that I think, or whatever. The problem with that is that unfortunately we don't live in a real-life version of the critically acclaimed 1996 film Multiplicity, which sucks because A, the world would be a better place with more Michael Keatons. I think we can all agree on that fact. But also B, we physically cannot split Darren Sharper into one guy who's good at football and then another guy who allegedly does awful things to women. So at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, if things go the way that Peter King thinks they should, we will stand and applaud and honor just the one, Darren Sharper. He'll be there because we ignored all the awful things he did, but we're putting that stupid-ass jacket on the guy who allegedly did all those awful things. Which reminds me, of course, of that famous quote from The Sandlot. How did that go? Heroes get remembered. Legends never die. And serial rapists get to be celebrated for being good at football. That's the full quote. A lot of people don't know that. This sort of thinking, though, that we can and should separate the athlete from the person is the exact thought process that leads to the problematic relationship the NFL has with domestic violence. Because if you think about it, the argument that's being made here is that it wouldn't be fair to judge whether or not a person is worthy of being honored on their actions. That's crazy. It's not like there's an off-the-field Sharper out there that's like doing awful things and ruining it for poor football Sharper. They're literally the same person making all these decisions. So of course you can judge that guy on his own actions. Honoring him in the Hall of Fame would be like giving ISIS a Webby Award for Viral Video of the Year. It doesn't feel good because it shouldn't. But I see why people in sports media want to think that you can separate the athlete from the person, because if you can't, well, then you have to admit that the athlete may have influenced the person and that the violent nature of the NFL and the way we worship our athletes and celebrities here in America could maybe have possibly, even just a tiny little bit, have had something to do with why Darren Sharper committed those off-the-field actions. And if we treat Darren Sharper as one person who is both a talented safety and a person with no regard for it, then Peter King would have to admit that the fact that honoring a serial rapist in a Hall of Fame could make other athletes think that serial rape probably isn't all that bad. Because, I mean, when you think about it, half of it is serial. People seem to really like that. But look, as one of the 46 people who get to choose who should be inducted, I understand why Peter King thinks that the Pro Football Hall of Fame is the most important thing. So important that it gets to ignore the world going on around it. But my question to you, Mr. King, is if it's really so important, then how the f*** are you in charge? You seem to be an idiot. Just saying. Bye.